And he also said that there's a possibility that this could blow up while I'm driving it, so. Hey everyone, before the video gets started, I just want to let you know that this car right here has about 80 horsepower right now, and in a few weeks it's going to have a 5.3 iron block LS in it and making about 425 horsepower. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see the end result of this car with that much horsepower. It's going to be absolutely crazy, and I cannot wait for that video. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching, enjoy the video, and subscribe. This is gonna be fun. What's going on, everybody? So today we're in my friend Court's 1992 Volvo 240. This should be a really fun video. So kind of a little bit of background on this car. It's a 2.3 liter slant inline 4, and it had 140 horsepower when it was new, and he says that it's probably more about 80 now that the car's a little bit older. Stock engine, stock transmission, but the rest of the car has a lot done to it. As you can see, I'm in some Sparco seats. They actually hugged me pretty well. I was not expecting to see these whenever I got in the car. So these seats are pretty cool. The interior is super clean, pretty simple. All the power stuff seems to work from what I can tell. Got a fire extinguisher under the dash below the camera right there. And other than that, you know, it looks pretty normal from the outside. So a little bit of background on the car before we get moving. It's just under 2,900 pounds. Like I said, it's a stock engine and transmission. The clutch is stock, it just has some upgraded friction material with like less than 1,000 miles on it, he said. The exhaust is stock, 2¼ inch to a Cat, then it's 3 inch to a Borla XS Pro muffler. And then after that, it has a vibrant resonator, and then it has that cool single exit tip right out the back in the middle. The wheels are 17 by 7.5. He got them for 80 bucks off of a Volvo S40 at a junkyard, and he said they're not worth painting. They still look pretty cool, and those wheels have Hankook RS4 tires on them, which are 225s all the way around. He gave me an upgrade list, so I'm just gonna read it off before we get going. So the front sway bar is now a 25mm bar from IPD, rear is stock. Sway bar end links up front are Heim joint to the control arm. Every suspension bushing in the car is polyurethane. It's got GAZ gold coilovers up front with 500-pound springs, and it has an E36 top hat bolt to bolt into the car. So he said that was kind of interesting, which it is. Rear spring is a standard 5-inch by 10-inch tall, 250-pound coil spring, and the rear shock is Bilstein HD, and he said that's actually a shock for a 94 Blazer 4x4, but it bolts up and it's 1 inch shorter than the stock length, and it's for the lowered cars. Front brakes are 13-inch 4-piston Brimbos off of a Volvo S60R from 2004, and StopTech sport pads, and then the rear end is a Ford 8.8 out of a 96 Explorer, which we'll get into why that's going to be there. The rear end uses adapters from Ford's 5x114.3, which is the same bolt pattern that's on my Mustang, and they're converted to 5x108 Volvo patterns. So the rear end has an adjustable panhard bar from IPD, kind of like the front sway bars from IPD. Rear end has reinforced adjustable torque arms from IPD, front control arms, transmission crossmember, and rear trailing arms have been boxed and welded to increase rigidity. So we should experience that with handling. Front end has a Volvo 240 GT strut brace in the engine bay for a bit of stiffening, and the seats, like I mentioned before, are Sparco Roadster, and they just have the, I don't even know how to pronounce that, cap link bolt-in brackets. I probably botched that. I'm sure I'll be told if I did. So I'm sweating, so we're gonna get moving without further ado. So I'll go ahead and throw the seatbelt on, and we will begin driving. So he gave me a few things to know about the car. He said reverse is a little bit of a challenge to get into. You just pull up on the collar, and we're gonna see if I got in there or not. Yep, we made it. He said there might be a little bit of grinding, but we're good. No grinding here. So far, the car feels unexpectedly smooth. It feels really good. So I'm just starting out in his driveway, actually. But here we go, we're in first gear. Clutch is super easy. Ooh, this is smooth. And he also said that there's a possibility that this could blow up while I'm driving it. So that should make for some interesting content if that's the case. But fear not, if that were to happen, it would be okay, because he actually, like I said at the beginning of the video, is putting an Iron Block 5.3 LS into this, which should be good for about 425 horsepower. I'm actually going to be doing a video on this car after that's done as well, which should make for some pretty good content. So the engine was just finished being rebuilt not too long ago, I believe, and or it might just be the stock one, I really don't know. Oh man, it's slow. Steering wheel, there's so much play in it. Once you get into corners though, it handles really nicely, honestly. Oh, the speedometer doesn't work. That's fun. I really have no idea how fast I'm going. I'm gonna open up ways so I know. It sounds pretty good, honestly. So this is a 5-speed. I'm just kind of cruising in 4th gear right now. There we go, now Waze is working for me. It's kind of a cool little back road that I'm on right now. The car doesn't have ABS, and it doesn't really have any other controls like that that would help you, any driver aids. This is a fun car. I've never really driven anything like this. I love the seat. This car is just a lot of fun right now. It's one of those cars that's like no pressure, doesn't really have anything to prove, but I cannot wait until this thing has that LS in it. It's going to be an absolute nightmare to drive, I'm sure of it. So I already touched on handling briefly. It's not the best. It's, well, okay, I take that back. It handles nicely. It's really balanced. It feels stiff and confident, but with that being said, the steering wheel is kind of the weak point. I don't know what it is, if it's just like the wheel or the steering rack or what it is, but it's really loose. Like I can turn it a lot without going very far, but I mean, if I give it a little bit of input, it'll turn pretty sharply. It feels smooth. It turns flat, which I like a lot. This chassis, it kind of looks awkward. Like it looks really awkwardly tall, like the cabin. There's a ton of headroom in here. I got like 7 inches of headroom above me, but it looks kind of top heavy almost, in my opinion. It looks like it'd be heavy, but it's really actually a pretty light car, and I like that a lot. This interior is super roomy. These Sparco seats are amazing. It's a really fun car so far. I really like it. So we're gonna try to not blow it up while I'm driving it, but at the same time I want to see what it can do, because him saying it only feels like it has 80 horsepower now is really an entertaining thought to me, and I want to try it and see what happens. So yeah, we're gonna see. It's a fun car. All right, let's see. What else can I go over? I mean, it's idling a little weird right now. I'm a little worried about it. I don't know if this is normal. I really don't. I guess we're gonna see what happens. I'm a little nervous now. I hope it doesn't blow up. From the mod list he sent me, this thing is like very handling oriented from what I can tell. So I really want to feel what it's like, because obviously the power is not there. It is a very, very slow car. And you know, there's just not much there. So we'll turn onto this road. It's straight at first, so I'll try to get a little pull out of it. We have cars in front of me, but with this car I don't think that should be an issue. So does not feel good. That's scary. It just feels like you're torturing it. My foot wasn't even like, my foot was like 3/4 throttle, and it just felt like you were torturing this car. I feel bad driving this. Like I feel like I'm hurting it. No AC that I can feel right now. Well, it's blowing hot air. Well, actually the AC's turned off. Is it supposed to be blowing out? Who cares? So, this car, it's it's fun. I think he uses this for autocross and stuff, which is why he's got all the stuff done to the chassis. Because whenever I'm swerving like this, it feels super confident and super flat, like I mentioned before. This car is going to be very, very interesting once it has that LS put in it. Ever since I've known Cord, I feel like he's always had these sort of obscure cars that he just like, he does a super good job building them. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he does it well, but at the same time he doesn't care. So it creates this really interesting balance. Okay, now the oil light's back on. Okay, it's on permanently now. It was not. Court, I don't want to blow up your car. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe so you can see the end result after the LS is put in this thing. It's gonna be so much fun because it's such a balanced chassis already. Once that engine's in there, it's just gonna complete it and make it so much fun. Oh, it's so slow. Foot to the floor.
Day 2.
That's 50. There's a grind. All right, that was 56. And I'm out of room. Oh man. It's so slow. I almost feel bad for it. All right, another sharp corner coming up here. We'll see how it does. I'm loving how this chassis feels. This is one of those cars that I hate to compare it to an FRS or BRZ. Those people are going to be upset with me because this car is way more underpowered than those cars are. But it kind of feels like that. It feels like it's fun to go around corners and you don't really care that it's not that fast. That's what this car is to me. I really enjoy this. Like, I love having my car, but I almost feel like I want to have something like this too, or something like this instead. That's just, you know, it's not. You don't really have to worry about it that much. It's a fun project that you can work on. When it's running, it's great, it's fun. You know, like this, it honestly feels, while I'm scared something might happen, I honestly feel like it's decently reliable too. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm worried it might blow up just because he told me it might, but had he not told me that, I don't think I'd have a concern. Other than that oil light that's just kind of looming and sitting there. So, yeah, I mean, going into the other stuff that I normally go into with car reviews, the interior, it's not that nice, but I don't know what you'd expect from the early 90s. The visibility is actually really good. You have giant windows all the way around you. The rear visibility leaves a little bit to be desired just because of those big chunky headrests back there, and the roof line's a little low. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's fun to drive. The throttle feels good. There's not really a lot of power, so it's not like you're gonna kill yourself if you accidentally tap the throttle too much. Brakes feel really good. With these rotors up front, it feels good. So the only thing that's worrying me still is this weird idle, but you know, what can you do? It's nice going into a review with lower expectations and having a blast, as opposed to going in with high expectations and being disappointed. And you know, I feel like this is one of those cars you can just pack, like, I don't know, I guess 4 more of your friends in and just go rip around back roads just for fun, and it'd be hilarious and fun, and there's no pressure to impress or anything. I think he did a really good job with how the car looks. I like the lowered look. I like the wheels off of the newer S60R. I think it looks really good for what it is. You know, it's clean. It's not overdone. I like the center exit exhaust a lot. The sound is, you know, you can hear the car. It helps you whenever you're trying to shift gears. You know when to shift, but it's not an overbearing sound either, which is very nice. Feels like I'm on a racetrack right now in this thing. The level of fun you can have in a car with such little power is amazing. Alright. I was hitting that corner doing 60. That's crazy. I guess I've been recording long enough that it stopped automatically, so we're back. We're at a light. It's still doing the weird idle thing. I'm just gonna roll all the windows down for this pull. To get the full experience. And so I can cool off because I'm dying right now. There's a cop in front of me, but I don't think he's gonna care. So we'll see. Here we go. Foot to the floor. Woo! noise as if that was accelerating. All right, downshift, here we go again. I might smell oil. Nah, I think we're good. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. This was a ton of fun driving this car. It's not like anything I've ever driven before. It was a ton of fun. So huge thanks to Court again for letting me drive the car. It's not blown up, so hopefully it won't blow up on the way home. We'll see. If this is your first time watching a video of mine, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe to see my other videos coming out of my Mustang build, other reviews, and stay tuned, especially to see the second video of this car once it has about roughly 350 more horsepower than what it's got now. It should be an absolute blast and insane to drive. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut the car off because this idle is bothering me, and I will see you guys in the next one.